Hello everybody, my name is Zach and I am the Education Outreach Coordinator for the American Littoral Society's Delaware Bayshore office. So like a lot of you, I'm stuck at home for the foreseeable future, so I thought I'd use this as an opportunity to show you some of the things that I do in my own yard here in Millville to save water. In the front yard here you can see my rain garden. It's meant to capture stormwater that falls on the driveway and also falls on this section of the roof and goes down the gutter there. So it's much better for it to go into this rain garden where it has a chance to infiltrate down into the Kirkwood-Cohansey aquifer rather than flowing down into the street and down the storm drain, or even worse, going down into my basement. If you're interested in making your own rain garden, you can actually go to sjwatersavers.org and check out some of our South Jersey Landscape Makeover webinars, and you may even be eligible for a rebate if you do that. So mine needs a little bit of filling out with plants here, but you can see there's quite a few that are coming up that I planted last year. So hopefully a little later in the spring and into the summer, things will start looking really nice as some of these plants start flowering. Back here you can see my rain barrel set up. They're all filled to the top because of all the rain we've had recently. Because of these 3 barrels, I almost never have to turn on the regular hose to water anything in my yard. So you can kind of tell that these 2 on the right are not actually connected to the gutter in the normal way. That's because my gutters are very old and all the rain kind of falls off that one low point there on the right side. So they're kind of allowing me to avoid paying for someone to come replace them like a normal responsible person would. Here's an easy do-it-yourself drip irrigation system that you can do that costs nothing. All you need is an old jug of iced tea in this case, and I just poked a tiny hole near the bottom there. So I'm just going to fill it up with the rain barrel here. Now all you gotta do is take it, put it near whatever plant it is that you're trying to water, and the water will get right to the plant's roots exactly where it needs to be, and it'll have plenty of time to absorb it, so none of it gets wasted. I've planted a couple native flowering perennials along the side of my shed here that'll hopefully help to attract pollinators to my garden in the future. Now, native plants are great for water because once they're established, they should require very little, if any, extra water. So we've got some nodding onion in the front here that gets a nice purple flower. And at the other end is some columbine. It's got a nice red flower. And I kind of forget what the rest of it is, but hopefully I'll figure it out once it starts flowering eventually. So here's an interesting strategy if you start your vegetable garden off with little baby seedlings like I do. So I take these little pieces of toilet paper rolls. I originally did this so that I wouldn't forget where they are, mainly when they were smaller, and maybe to provide a little wind protection. But then I realized that when you water the plants, it fills up really nicely, and all the water goes right where you need it to go. Makes it a little bit easier to water and seems a little bit more efficient. In addition to the native flowering perennials and the vegetable garden, I've also been planting some native fruit trees and fruit bushes. So these are all blueberry bushes, and you can see they've even got some little flowers on them already. So just like the flowering perennials, these native fruit bushes and trees shouldn't require very much extra water once they're well established. In addition to the blueberry bushes, I've also got these beach plum trees that are just starting to bud here. So they in particular, since they grow on the dunes of beaches, they shouldn't require very much water at all once they're well established. Now on the water quality side of things, instead of using regular fertilizer in your garden, what I've done is create some compost tea. So all I did is take what was in this case some extra screen from the rain barrel, which is the same screen you have in your windows, and I just put some compost in it here. Stuck it in a bucket of water for a few days. And you just kind of take some of it out here. And you've got some nice nutrient-rich water to feed your plants. And of course you can't make compost tea without compost. So all I have here is an old trash can filled with mostly food scraps. I cut the bottom out of it so that there could be an exchange of microbes between it and the ground, and also so that it wouldn't fill with water whenever it rains. And as you can see, the weeds around it really seem to like living there. One more thing that I do is that I simply have a terrible lawn filled with weeds that I never water or fertilize or anything, so that saves me quite a bit of water. I realize that strategy isn't for everyone, but sometimes it has some unexpected benefits. I don't know how well this is going to show up on the video, but this part of the lawn is filled with these nice little purple flowers. I have no idea what they are, but they look kind of nice. So if you're looking for an excuse to get outside without leaving your property, I hope maybe you were inspired to do some projects around the house that'll help you to save water. Thanks for watching and stay safe.